Hey everybody, James Shepard here with another edition of the Merchant Sales Insight. This might be one of the most important editions that I've ever done. And so if you are involved in owning or running an ISO, okay, or a super ISO or whatever, if you have a team of 1099 or W-2 agents that are selling payment processing services, this is one that you're going to want to listen to or read in total. I'm going to give you a quick summary of it in this video, but you really need to visit ccsalespro.com/insights, ccsalespro.com/insights, and download this one and either read it there, or again, if you listen to the audio version, it's like an audio book, so I just read it. We talk about transforming the nature of the ISO. What is the ISO going to look like in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? And these trends are not going to surprise anybody, right? The trend is towards integrated payments and, partnership with software companies. But I just see so many ISOs who tell me, James, we're missing the boat. We're not implementing these integrations. And the irony of it is, as ISOs continue to stumble over themselves to make this transformation, I was originally very concerned about the individual agents. I'm not anymore, to be honest. I'm really not. I've talked to scores of agents over the last 3 months, and what I'm finding is that these agents see the change in the market and they're adapting, right? They're saying, okay, I need to sell software. I need to go after a particular vertical. I need to become more of a payments expert, and how that relates to a software integration. I need to go after software companies, whatever it is. I'm seeing these agents embracing the change. I mean, like at an incredible rate. I've actually been a little surprised by the rate that they're embracing these changes. The real concern I have now is actually not for the agents, it's for the ISOs, because these agents are saying, well, I have to have a vertical specific solution that I understand. I have to be able to sign people up in a way that doesn't take 4 or 5 days of underwriting. And so I guess the only way to do that is to go partner directly with the PayFac or the ISV. They do their own processing now, and they're all integrated with payment processing. So I just go to them and negotiate directly with them, and then I sell their solution. I cannot tell you how many agents I have talked to in the last 3 months that is exactly what they're doing. And they're selling, they might still be selling a few deals for their ISO, but they're putting a lot of effort into these other partnerships. And I think that's good. I think that can be good for the agent. I think there's a bit of a concern a lot of times where I talk to them and it's like, well, how much did you vet this company? Do they have lifetime vested residuals? You can't take that for granted. You know what I mean? Like, what's the agreement like? What's the exclusivity, language and things of that nature? What happens when they bring on venture capital and dilute their ownership, and then they, whatever it is, right down the road, this path. And so, I have some concerns. I really do. But again, I think there'll be some mishaps along the way, but I think the agents are going to be fine. The question is, are the agents going to have to leave the ISO in order to embrace these changes, or is the ISO going to, move forward with this and provide a great solution for the agent? So I want to just talk to you about 2 things today quickly that I think are very important that the ISO needs to do. We're going to talk about creating these technology partnerships, because it's not the way it's being done now. And then secondly, we're going to talk about how to leverage the sales channel for distribution with these technology partnerships. So before we get into that, this edition is brought to you by NMI.com. This is one of those where I hardly even need to say too much about the sponsor, because just this topic in general, if ISOs would embrace this topic, NMI would have more business than they know what to do with. NMI has been leading the charge for years in this area of helping bring the worlds of software and ISO together, but you need to start thinking of them differently as more of a partner in helping you get these technology relationships, these partnerships in place. So go to NMI.com, but we'll talk more about that as we go throughout. But I want to dive right in because this is such an important topic. So number one, how do you create a technology partnership? Let me start by saying what it's not, okay? It is not, I repeat, it is not getting an integration done as quickly as possible with the least amount of effort, and then sending an email blast out to all of your agents and say, hey, we have a new point of sale system you can sell if you want to. That is not a technology partnership, okay? Well, wait a minute, but I even let them set up a little table at our annual get-together to demo. That's not a technology partnership, okay? Everybody does that, and it doesn't work. The agents are not selling these technology solutions, okay? That doesn't work. A technology partnership means a couple things in my mind, and what I've seen that's been successful. Number one, and this may surprise you a little bit, but number one on my list is a capital investment. I'm talking about, I'm saying you're going to go buy a software company Or you're going to make an investment in that technology company during whatever particular financing round that they're in. You're going to say, no, we want to make an investment in the company because you want to have a seat on the board. You want to have a voice when it comes to like how they're designing their payments integration, how they're designing their technology. You need to have a voice. I'm talking about a partnership here, okay? I'm saying you're going to go after a company that you believe has a great solution. You're going to negotiate with them, and you're going to buy that business. Some of you don't have experience doing that. Get experience, right? Hire people that have experience. Talk to consultants. Take courses on corporate finance. Like, you got to understand this stuff. But I'm talking about buying them out or making a capital investment. You have to have a voice. Maybe you have some other form of leverage, but the key is you have to have a voice in how they move forward. So that's number one on my list. Then number two, have your team work with their team to design the solution that you know the end user wants and that you know your agents are going to be able to sell. So maybe that's going to involve compliant surcharging or dual pricing. Well, now you got to talk about compliance, right? Get your tech team involved, right? And make sure that they are, the features make sense, right? So get the finance team involved because these software companies, they're not used to giving hardware away for free. They're not used to giving installation away for free, right? You can do that because by you owning the software company or having a mutually beneficial relationship, there's a lot more profit generated by the combined payments and software fees. So now you can afford to give some things away for free to remove those barriers to the sale, right? And again, I mentioned it before, go to nmi.com, let them know, hey, here's the deal I'm working on. Let them work with you, your team, and the software company's team in order to facilitate and make sure all the tech is solid while preserving your place, because NMI is processor agnostic, so they're not going after the processing ever. So they're going to work with you to make sure that you're positioned as the payment processor. So if you develop a real partnership, and again, I hate how short I had to make that. Read the whole thing at ccsalespro.com/insights. But you have a real technology partnership. Now you want to leverage your sales team for distribution. What do you do? Well, this is a question I get all the time. James, I get a new consulting client. James, we're an ISO. How do we make sure that our agents are actually going to sell these technology solutions? Okay. And, what can we do? And it reminds me of a story that I read about in a book with a management consultant. He was helping one of his clients improve employee retention. So he was doing some kind of exit interviews of people who used to work there that quit. And he was interviewing one particular employee, and he said, what could the company have done to retain you? What could they have done to keep you from leaving? And the employee kind of had this confused, kind of disgusted look on his face, and he said, anything. The idea was, what could they have done? They could have done anything. They did nothing to keep me, And that's how I feel a lot of times when ISOs say to me, James, how can we get our agents to sell this technology solution better? And I say, anything. Like, what are you doing now? Are you providing them with custom marketing materials? No. Have you had a series of webinars where you interviewed the people that made the software and your experts and talked about how to position it in the market? No. Have you worked with a company like mine to create custom training content that literally showcases the hardware, the software, how to sell it, the pitch, overcoming objections? No. Do you have support people who are dedicated to supporting the solution? No. Are you sending text messages out to your team asking them if they have questions about the solution? No. Have you changed your compensation to reward agents for bringing you these new deals with the software integration that are much more valuable, both from a margin and from a lifetime value with lower attrition, right? Like, are you rewarding them additionally for doing this? No. Like, you got to do these things, right? Like, this is not rocket science. Like, you have to change the culture and the focus of your entire organization to say, okay, wait a minute. Rather than looking at technology integrations as, let's see how many companies we can integrate with so we can give our agents lots of options. Believe me, that's been tried 100 times and it doesn't work. The real way to win is to say, wait a minute, let's pick one integration and let's put all of our resources of our company, marketing, development, sales, everything for 6 months. Let's put it behind this one thing and let's see how much we can accomplish. That is what will position your ISO for the future. My name is James Shepard. Make sure you check out our sponsor, NMI.com. They are a fantastic company. Think of them more as a partner to help you on this journey of integrated payments. And make sure you go to ccsalespro.com/insights to read the entire or listen to the entire version of this episode.